We are still at our, how many are we?
Total 139.
Total 139 participants have come in line with us right now. We are still awaiting. We'll just give it another 5 minutes before we start the session. So kindly just bear with us. Thank you. Meanwhile, I'd like to highlight on the house rules while everyone is waiting. To ensure a smooth sailing of the process, before anyone would like to ask a question, it would be good if you can click the raise your hand button there. And when we get that prompt, we would address you, and whatever questions that we have, we can actually address ourselves. Introduce ourselves and ask the relevant question to the speakers. We'll can hear, right? Okay. So the speakers would answer whichever questions that the speakers will try to answer most questions. So it will be good if you can introduce yourselves and then ask the question. All right. So that's about it. We'll just wait for another 5 minutes before we start off our session. Thank you. Hi, a very good evening, good afternoon, everybody. We actually, I'm Dr. Radhakrishnan, PPS MMA Vilaya. Together with me is Dr. Balachandran, Vice Chairman of PPS National MMA. Okay. Salam Sejahtera and welcome to a session where GPs get a chance to clear all our doubts with regards to the vaccine. Right, a couple of months ago, we were all in so much of confusion regarding the swabbing and testing, which eventually were cleared thanks to this ever helpful team from Jabatan Kesihatan Wilayah Persekutuan Putrajaya. Now, I'm confident the same team can shine some light on the vaccine issue too. So together with us, sitting in JKWP is Dr. Roni Yuzam, Timbalan Pengarah Kesihatan Perubatan JKWP and Putrajaya, Dr. Fauziah Abdullah, Pakar Perubatan Kesihatan Awam JKWP, KL and Putrajaya, Puan Nazariah, who is the Ketua Penolong Kanan Farmasi, Ketua Cawangan Amalan dan Perkembangan Farmasi JKWP, KL and Putrajaya, and also Puan Teng Soki, Pegawai Farmasi in JKWP, KL and Putrajaya. So without much delay, I shall start this clearing our doubt session with a few questions. We in KL, there is actually a total of 1,184 registered GP clinics and about 201 specialist clinics and an estimated healthcare workers of about 7,000. So with all this in mind, we would like to pose our first question as when would these frontliners from private sector get vaccinated? Thank you. I think Dr. Roni or Dr. Fauziah will be able to clear our doubt on this. Thank you.
Okay, very good evening to Dr. Bala and also and also Dr. Ereta for coming to inviting us in the sessions between MMA and JKWP with regards to the what they call updates on the COVID vaccine situation in wilayah Persekutuan Kuala Lumpur. So for me, I think Dr. Param sent the regards to all of you because of he had another meeting with the Menteri at the moment, so he unable to attend this meeting. But anyhow, I still have a team with me, and with regards to that, we are preparing any questions that you might throw to JKWP with regards to vaccines programs in Malaysia. So at the moment, what we understand, and I think most of you also understand that the vaccine program in Malaysia is a nationwide program, which is been highlighted by our Menteri YBM case and also by MOSTI. So the programs is a joint program between MOSTI and KKM to roll out vaccine throughout Malaysia. So it will. I think the vaccine program started in February 2020 on the 24th of February by our by our PMs Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. So since that from the 24th of February until now, we already vaccinated most of the frontliner for the first dose. And I think yesterday, the second dose receiver by Tan Sri Muhyiddin and our Tan Sri DG already started. I think that is the highlight that which I wanted to highlight here and to talk about the programs. I think after that maybe we can do some answering question and answers. And about the policy matter, I would like to inform all of you that the policy is still, some of the policy fixed, some of the policy are still on discussions, and also is progressive things. It's dynamic, where sometimes it might change from time to time. That one we will inform MMA if any with regards to any policy changes. But at the moment, whatever situation that we are facing now is depends on the instructions and the committee, whichever committee in KKM and mostly decided. So with further knowledge, I think I give Dr. Fauzia if you want to say anything, and also Puan Nazaria to start the. I think they get start the presentation by Puan Ting. Okay.
Mana nak?
Mana?
Dah letak this one off. Okay. Turun lagi. Copy dulu. Right click. Copy kat atas. Copy depan minimize. Minimize. Okay. Minimize. Yes. Pakai yang display ni. Slide ni. Oh tak pula. Because you presenting.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Soe, pharmacist from JKWP. So I hope everyone can gain some knowledge with whatever that we are going to share. Just a little updates on the COVID vaccines that we know currently. So these are my layout of contents. We'll go a little bit into the regulation of vaccines in Malaysia, and Pfizer-BioNTech's Comirnaty, what we should know, and other conditionally approved COVID-19 vaccines in Malaysia, and also a little bit about AEFI reporting. So as we all know, researchers are racing to develop a safe and effective vaccines against SARS coronavirus. So according to WHO, over 200 vaccine candidates for COVID-19 are being produced as of December 2020. And of these, at least 52 candidate vaccines are in human trials. So in Malaysia, our National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA, will do the evaluation of dossiers to ensure quality, safety, and efficacy of vaccines before presenting to the Drug Control Authority, DCA, for consideration. And post-approving, NPRA will continue to do lot release testing before releasing the vaccines to be used by the vaccinees, and also doing post-marketing surveillance and AEFI monitoring. So a little bit about the national COVID-19 immunization program. So as we all know, last year, 13 November, Malaysia officially signed on to the COVAX facility. The COVID-19 Vaccine Global Access Facility, it is, also known as COVAX, is a global initiative to ensure equitable access to all COVID-19 vaccines. So on the 8th of January this year, Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine had obtained the conditional approval by DCA and NPRA. And as of 24th February this year, National COVID Immunization Program was launched, aiming to ensure that at least 80% of Malaysia's adult population receive vaccines by February 2022 to reduce infections, hospitalization, and death in 3 phases. So this is summary of vaccine manufacturers that Malaysia is considering. So Pfizer-BioNTech, which is the brand name goes by Comirnaty, is being employed in our first phase of national COVID immunization program. And as of 2nd March this year, DCA granted conditional approval to 2 more other COVID-19 vaccines by the company of AstraZeneca and also Sinovac. Okay, so just a little bit brief introduction on Pfizer-BioNTech's Comirnaty. So as we all know that it is actually a form of mRNA formulated vaccine. So the packaging comes in a 2 ml vial and has to be diluted before use. So it has to be stored in the ultra low temperature freezer, which it can last about 6 months from manufacturing dates. And pod vials, it can be kept for 5 days in a temperature of 2 to 8 degrees Celsius, whereas for diluted vials can be stored up to 6 hours in a temperature of up to 30 degrees Celsius. So Comirnaty is indicated for active immunization against COVID-19 in adults aged 18 years old and above. So it is administered intramuscularly as a course of 2 doses at least 21 days apart. So the most common side effects that we can see is that pain at injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle pain, chills, joint pain, fever, injection site redness or swelling, nausea or malaise as well. So far, the studies, they could not determine the duration of protection, so it's still unknown. And as per guidelines on COVID-19 vaccination criteria to consider before vaccination using Comirnaty by Ministry of Health updated 2nd of March, the contraindications are as below, which is persons who had history of an allergy reaction to a previous dose of Comirnaty or any of its components, or persons with history of anaphylaxis to other drugs, vaccine, food, insect stings, or unknown trigger. So another contraindication we have to take note is acute febrile illness. So what are the special population considerations? So pregnancy and lactation group. So available data currently do not indicate any harm to pregnancy and unlikely to pose a risk to the breastfeeding child. So the vaccination is recommended in those where the risk of exposure to SARS-CoV-2 infection is high and cannot be avoided. So whereas for pediatric population, it's not recommended as there's no safety data established. While for elderly group, it can be given with no dosage adjustment. Whereas for immunocompromised individuals or persons with blood or coagulation disorders, it is not contraindicated to give, but vaccinists may discuss with healthcare providers on the optimal timing of vaccination. Okay, so some safety updates on Comirnaty by MPRA as of 17 February this year. So there were concerns about the severe allergic reactions. So in the United States, it has been reported about 5 cases per million doses, and about 74% of those occur is within 15 minutes of vaccination. So currently, the protocol for vaccinees getting Comirnaty, there would be observed at least 15 minutes post-vaccination, and especially those with history of allergies, there will be monitored for at least 30 minutes. And in the UK, it's about 1 to 2 cases per 100 doses, and so far there's no death being reported in both United States and the UK. So comparing with Singapore, the anaphylaxis rate was found to be higher a little bit, which is about 2.7 cases per 100 doses administered. However, the variations in the incidence rate are not alarming and to be expected as the numbers vaccinated in Singapore during that time are relatively small. So the risk of anaphylaxis currently have been identified is in line with those assessments reports. Okay, and there's no new no new signals in regarding to this nature of the side effect. Second safety concern about Comirnaty is the risk of fatal outcome in frail elderly individuals. In January 2021, Norwegian Medicines Agency had reported that there had been 23 deaths associated among severely frail elderly people in Norway. In response to this cluster as well, WHO, GACVS, COVID Vaccine Safety Subcommittee, that conducted the review and concluded that the available information did not confer a contributory role that Comirnaty causes. It has linked to these reported fatal events. So, and as for European Medicines Agency, their Pharmacovigilance Risk Assessment Committee also concluded that the progression of the pre-existing diseases seemed to be a possible cause of death for these individuals. So, and in some cases, actually, palliative care had been already initiated in these individuals prior to vaccination. So based on the current data, there was no new safety concern and no change regarding how Comirnaty should be used, including in frail elderly individuals. So in summary, the current post-marketing safety data for Comirnaty is in line with the known side effects detected during the trials. So to date, there is no new confirmed safety signal, and MPRA will continue to monitor the safety of Comirnaty and other COVID-19 vaccines as they are being rolled out in Malaysia. So what other COVID-19 vaccines that are conditionally approved in Malaysia? So as of 2nd of March, 2 more vaccines are being approved conditionally. One is COVID-19 vaccine, AstraZeneca solution. Another one is CoronaVac suspension for injection by Sinovac. So as we all know, the COVID-19 vaccine by AstraZeneca, it actually uses the viral vector type, which delivers the genetic material of targeted virus and thus stimulating the human immune response. So the example of vaccine that actually uses the same technology is like Ebola, for Ebola. Okay, so the pros of this type of vaccine is actually a proven technology, and actually it triggers an adaptive reaction for a more effective immune response, whereas the downside is actually because it's a very complex manufacturing process, as it is important to ensure the virus vector that's being used must be safe. Okay, so whereas for CoronaVac, it's actually a form of inactivated virus, which is used to stimulate the human immune response, for example, in vaccine for JE, rabies, or polio. So this type of technology is also a proven one, suitable for those who have a weak immune system and easy to produce. But the downside is that it actually involves a high manufacturing cost. So there was some safety concerns regarding the COVID-19 vaccine AstraZeneca, where we all hear about the risk of thromboembolic events. So as of 10th of March, 30 cases of thromboembolic events have been reported among the 5 million people vaccinated in the European Economic Area. So EMS Safety Committee, PRAC, preliminary review suggests that actually there was no specific issue with the batch used in Austria. And the number of thromboembolic events in vaccinated people is no higher than the number seen in the general population. And EMA currently remains with the view that vaccines benefit, the AstraZeneca's vaccines benefit continue to outweigh the risk, and it can be continued to be administered while the investigation of the thromboembolic cases are going on. So in Malaysia, although the conditional approval for COVID-19 vaccine AstraZeneca was granted, they are still not yet available for the use in the national COVID-19 immunization program. So even though there's no clear indication that the event may be linked to the vaccine, MPRA will continue to monitor the safety and further update on the outcome of the EMA assessment. If I'm not wrong, I think they're having an emergency meeting this Thursday also. It will be communicated, and any regulatory action that will be taken, it will be informed if necessary lah. Okay, so a little bit about adverse events following immunization, AEFI. So AEFI actually refers to any untoward medical occurrence which follows immunization and which does not necessarily have a causal relationship with the usage or the process of the immunization. So the adverse event may be any unfavorable or any unintended sign or abnormal laboratory findings, symptom, or disease. So AEFI can be non-serious or serious type. So the non-serious AEFI are the common adverse reactions documented in product insert, such as fever or chills, redness or swelling over the injection site, headache, malaise, irritability, nausea, or vomiting. Whereas serious AEFI, actually, there are serious reactions that actually result in death or life-threatening events, or which require inpatient hospitalization or prolong of the existing hospitalization. It also involves reactions that may cause persistent or significant disability or incapacity, or it can happen during, or it can happen as a congenital anomaly or birth defect, or any events that actually requires intervention to prevent permanent impairment or damage. So in summary, the AEFI reporting workflow currently, so if the AEFI is not serious, currently MySejahtera app, the vaccinee can report via MySejahtera app. If no, then we can, if there's no MySejahtera app, you can report manually or via online platform via the MPRA website lah. Whereas the AEFI serious form, it will require a more serious, more complicated workflow, but actually usually it's still used back the same channel lah that we have. So this is an example of consumer reporting side effects form, the platform, where let's say if the vaccinee doesn't have MySejahtera app and they wish to report the AEFI online, then can go to the MPRA website under the consumer section to click on reporting side effect, whereby they will have this conserve the form as an online form where they can report lah. Otherwise, they can present themselves to the nearest facility to report the AEFI, because healthcare providers can report on behalf. So as healthcare provider, how we can report AEFI? So in MOH facilities, we employ system called Pharmacy Information System, which is the PHIS. Otherwise, we can also use the online ADR web form in MPRA website, or we can submit the form manually to be posted or emailed to this specific email, which is mycovid.aefi@mpra.gov.my for specific for COVID-19 vaccines AEFI. So the new thing about this new ADR form is that we will need to include the vaccine batch number and also diluent use either in the remarks or the comment section. Okay, so healthcare provider can report on behalf, like I mentioned, for the vaccinees if they do not report it via MySejahtera app, or the AEFI experience is actually not in the MySejahtera app list. Okay, so this is example of the interface in MPRA website whereby healthcare professional, if they want to report any AEFI or ADR. So this is the ADR form, the new ADR form. Yeah, so with that, I end my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Wan Teng. Thank you for the very concise and to the point explanation regarding the vaccine. Yes, Dr. Bala would like to pose the first question.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. So, okay, I'm Dr. Bala here. First and foremost, I'm representing the ground. That's a general debrief from Wilayah. Okay, this is all the ground. What their perceptions towards to the vaccine, the vaccination process, and everything. So I'd like to ask directly the question to Dr. Rosie, Dr. Roni, and Dr. Fauzia. At this moment, so we want to know exactly how many people, how many GPs are already being vaccinated in Wilayah. Okay, and so because why we know our numbers of GPs in Wilayah is about 1,000, close to 1,000 over people. Okay, so we need to know exactly because why there are many calls are coming in from our GP friends asking when is my turn. So I really, that's my first question. Second question, thank you to Ms. Tang because of your this very detailed presentation regards of vaccine. I'm wondering why at this point, because at this point we already reaching about 300, close to 400,000 people has already been vaccinated in Malaysia. Why MARTEC or MPRA still not bringing out the detail, the data about adverse reactions? So that this will be giving us some glimpse now what exactly the type of the side effects. So our GP as whole, we are really eagerly wanted to have that kind of data or access to the data, so that we can correctly inform our patients, our friends, our family, okay, and this is what you're going to anticipate or not, okay? With that, thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Bala, Dr. Ananda, and the rest. I'm Dr. Fauzia here from JKWPKL and Putrajaya. So far, for the phase 1, for the frontliners phase 1, was started on the 24th of February and it will be end at 30th of April for the first cohort of the phase 1. Okay, for this cohort, we have vaccinated about 252 GPs from KL and as well Putrajaya, according to the list given by HQ KKM.
And the rest continue.
And the rest.
Yes, no.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay. For the rest, we will be vaccinating them by staggered, and we will start on the 5th of April after we receive our supply from pharmacy. By staggered, because the vaccine that's supplied to a state is by staggered as well.
Okay, Dr. Fauzia, can you hear me?
Yes.
What is our capacity of vaccination per day in Wilayah Persekutuan?
For the phase one, we have vaccinated around because we have 13 vaccination centers. Okay, for the and then there is types of vaccination center, and mostly is a type 1, less than 200 because of the vaccine supply that we have received. But there are few with the type 5 that means they are vaccinating around 1,200 per day. Because vaccine, it comes by shipment, and for the 2 months it comes by 6 shipments, and depends, and as well a lot release for the vaccine to be used, and as well and as well by arranging for the vaccine to be set at the PPV and vaccinating them.
Thank you, Dr. Fauzia.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Doctor, I'd like to go. There are some questions from the ground. Okay. First of all, Dr. Lu Alex, he'd like to ask about, I'm a freelance doctor. How do I register to get vaccine as soon as possible?
Actually, I have a slide of presentation to show on how how we captured the client for the vaccination. Can I just present it?
Yeah.
Macam mana
we like, it's very concise, go directly to the points, and because there's lots of questions coming in.
Okay. For all the client, they need to register MySejahtera. So the invitation will comes into by MySejahtera.
Yeah, so to add on to that, because there are questions also from the GPs asking whether their registration, their priority of vaccination is come from the address of their house or from the clinic where they are practicing. Because in care is a very unique thing now. The doctors are staying in Selangor, but they are practicing care, vice versa, you see. So some of them, they are very worried because until today nobody is calling them for vaccine. So they are worried whether my name is registered in Wilayah or Selangor.
For the starting, we use a place of work for the starting.
Okay.
Yeah. Then it depends on the address given by using the MySejahtera system.
Okay, that's okay. I want to go for the second question. That's come from Dr. Subdesan Singh. Okay, he's again asking about NPRA, when is it going to start sharing the raw data about regards of vaccine in Malaysia. So he's talking about AEFI data. Is there any idea? Probably Ms. Ten.
Okay, so to answer Dr. Bala's and Dr. questions, we will convey your concerns to NPRA. So because actually at the moment, NPRA is also currently still analyzing the data that are being received, because this time it's a little bit different, because whereby vaccinations themselves also can report their AFI via MySejahtera app. So this is quite a new system that they are employing also. So currently at the moment, we are also still waiting the data from them as well. But we will convey your concerns to them. So hopefully we will get the data as soon as possible as well to share it with you guys.
Okay. Follow up to the questions. There's another question from Dr. Ellie Chow. Good afternoon to our panelists. The seasonal quadrivalent flu vaccine, Southern Hemisphere 202 is now available. As GP, how do we advise our patient regarding the flu shots and COVID vaccine? When a patient have received first dose of COVID vaccine, how soon can they take the flu vaccine?
Okay. This one, I mean, they receive the flu vaccine first, or they receive the COVID vaccine first?
We receive the flu vaccine first.
Flu vaccine first.
So
The interval is 2 weeks, doctor. 2 weeks, 14 days. Intervals between one vaccine to COVID vaccine is 14 days.
14 days after that.
Okay. Just to add on to that, doctor, because recently we have received some WhatsApp message and everything. I just want to validate the message. Is it true that after vaccinate to COVID-19 and this so-called people are being given a diclofenac injection for myalgia, and that's trigger a severe side effect? And
No, we are not aware of it. We don't have that information.
okay, all right. Okay, so we follow up. That's from there is a question from Dr. Ko. How many cases of anaphylaxis have been seen in Malaysia so far?
For state, we don't have that data. Even for state, we supposed to have the dashboard. Even that we don't have yet because the system is still developing.
Wilayah tak ada.
For wilayah so far none.
Okay.
Okay.
None cases, right?
Okay, that's it's a kind of bit important question, but then Dr. Sudesan saying he like to ask again regards of a nursing home, okay, in Malaya. This is the geriatrics population who have been vaccinated. How they know to access to MySejahtera to complain regards of any side effect after post vaccine.
There is what we call it as outreach programs, and then we do have the old folks homes nursing care for elderly. We do have the list of the elderly, and then for each of the elderly homes, there should be a penyaras ataupun person in charge at each of the homes. So we will communicate between them and we will inform them on how to assess and how to monitor after given the injection.
Okay. Right. So follow up. That's Dr. Ko T. Lee. She'd like to ask. Probably, I think Ms. Tang can advise. She wants to know exactly the substance inside the vaccines that actually trigger the anaphylactic reaction.
All right. Okay. So to answer doctor's question, 1, 2, and 3 are all contraindications as per our guidelines to consider before vaccination patient using Comirnaty. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Ms. Tang, because she wanted to know exactly what substance that's triggered. Because the vaccine comes together with preservative or so far the data shows what exactly that's triggered the anaphylactic shock. Is it the substance or is it preservative?
Okay, so because as per product insert, it was being advised that any in the list of the excipients we should not give lah. If there's any history of allergy to any in the list of excipients, we should not give. So, but currently at the moment, we don't know which one exactly is causing any anaphylactic reaction, because if require this data, most likely the patient themselves have to do maybe immunology testing on the what are the specific allergens that actually causing the anaphylactic reaction. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, okay, thank you, Ms. Chen. Again, there are many many doctors. Dr. Atel is asking about regards of the AEFI data. So hopefully we know very well. Just now, Dr. Fauziah has said so far, the government, the MADREG and MPRA still they are going through all the data and everything. We are really looking for a faster data to be exposed to be shared with the general population altogether, so that we understand exactly what is the side effects, what we are encountered for. So move on. So we have another question come from Dr. Desmond. My clinic Borang B has KL address since we are following what most business here did. While my actual PKD is Hulu Langat, where should I go for vaccination? I have actually sent 2 Google forms stating my clinic is under PKD Hulu Langat. Then CCAP Laya sent me an email stating I have registered under one of the PKD. So I again registered, but under PKD Cheras, which is nearest to my place. It's a long question. Okay. So this is an issue of a placing. So how to address, because this kind of, this is Dr. Desmond's question is a very genuine question, because he not only GPs are facing this problem, many of them, they have this ambiguity. So kindly, we really need some ideas from the panelists. Thank you.
Dr. Bala, with regards to the PKD Ulu Langat or PKD Cheras, I think most we will focus on the place of work at the moment for all the all the frontliner, especially in the GPs. We will take the clinics punya alamat and address. That is what we are doing now at the moment. Yeah. But they need to daftar lah. I think MMA already taken given all the address to KKM, so we will take that as the address lah for the vaccinate for the vaccinee to take their vaccine.
Okay. Dear GPs from KL, so please, when you are posting any question, try to identify yourself. No, a proper names to be known. So no names I'm not going to entertain, because we don't know what is the question like, okay? And so move on. From this question come from Dr. Narinda Kaur. Okay, what about G6PD patient? Can they take the vaccine?
Yes. Can.
Okay. So we have another question come from a fellow chairman from PPS, Dr. Sivanesan. If there are any serious reaction after vaccination, will the MOH protect the GPs?
Yes. Okay. For the vaccination, right? After taking the vaccination, there will be observation for 15 to 30 minutes, and usually for the severe AEFI or anaphylaxis, it will happen during a very short period. So at the vaccination center, we already prepared a medical standby and as well ambulance. If anything happen, they will be they will be managed accordingly for the emergency care.
Okay. All right, thank you, doctor. So this is following exactly the flu vaccine. Dr. Smananda like to ask, requesting some clarity whether flu vaccine, can we postpone the flu vaccine until we complete the 2 doses of a COVID-19 vaccine?
Better.
Yeah,
Better.
better. Okay.
Better. Yeah.
Thank you, doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Dr. Tai Kang Su. When will GP be engaged to help speed up or to assist vaccination in phase 2 and 3? And why must it registered under PECA B40?
Oh, the one policy. Dr. Bala, with I think the question I cannot answer also because that one is a policy matter by the higher up. But anyhow, we try to convey the message to KKM lah.
Okay.
With the question, yeah, because that one I also cannot answer.
Okay.
I think that one, even you all are still in the dark regarding that, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing that I would actually like to find out is, would our clinic nurses, the GPs, clinic nurses be considered as frontliner, and would they be given priority for the vaccination, at least in the phase 2?
This one.
Yeah.
For the nurses, doctors, and paramedics, that is according to the definition of the KKM, that dealing with the patients and there's a direct contact with the close contact or for the COVID and everything, they will consider as a frontliners. So we will, we will consider them. But then, as I mentioned earlier, the vaccine comes in the staggered, the supply. So they will be in the list, but then it's not by staggered as well. They will be getting in staggered as well.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Fazia. The thing is, as we know, like I mentioned earlier, there are close to about 1,200 registered clinics in KL, Putrajaya. Is there like when we receive the vaccine from Central, do they go according to the number of clinics or the number of frontliners in a particular state and then roll the vaccine to that state, or they just fix a particular amount, 8,000 for Wilayah, 8,000 for Johor, 8,000, for example, like that? How is it? How do they decide how much of vaccine to send to which state? Is it based on the doctors' frontliners population, or how? Are you aware of it?
Actually, for the beginning, they do have some calculation on it by using the frontliners population. But then all depends from the private. All depends on registered under MMA and APHM and submitted to them. From that, they calculated this is the amount to be given to the KL. This is the amount to be given for other states and everything. So after that, they have been receiving more and more amount of.
So in short, what you're saying is the amount of vaccine we received is based on the number of doctors who initially registered, and then after receiving the vaccine, there were more doctors who have registered. So
for the privates, yes.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, move on. There's many questions still there from. Okay, some of them is to solve as the same question, same things. Now, again, doctors are very anxious. They wanted to know when their vaccine turns is going to come. Okay, to add on to that, doctor, the phase 2 that you mentioned about, okay, we're going to receive the same type of Pfizer vaccine, or is going to be a different type that starts been mentioned that's only two more vaccines already been given a fast track approval.
In fact, the minister just brought his Sinovac today, I understand.
You don't know, maybe.
it's very difficult to say. So far, KL and Putrajaya, we have received Pfizer so far. So I know where not yet.
So, I mean, move on with that. I just need the clarity because when you are taking the first dose of Pfizer, the second dose must be from the Pfizer, isn't it? So,
Yes, must be at same type of vaccine, and the duration is 21 days between those the first dose and second dose.
okay, all right. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions here from the doctors, Johan. So, basically they are asking about they are waiting for their turn, okay, and the registration, the process. I think looking at too many questions regards of the same issue, I think we really appreciate from the panelists or the Relaya team. So to summarize how's the easier way, because so they're just worried whether their name is there or not in the the waiting list. So at least some sort of where their names are being, the entire names list will be published in the website or something like that, so that they can know exactly, oh, my turn is coming. It doesn't matter it's coming after 1 month, but they know very sure their name is there.
May I give a suggestion, Dr. Vala and Dr. Reta?
Yes.
Because we have the same, we also don't know who and who lah that receive and not, So my suggestion, maybe we give you the line listing to MMA, whatever that we get here.
Okay.
And you all check whether this is MMA wilayah one. I mean, the clinic is in wilayah. I mean, the person that working in wilayah or not.
Right.
Is that much better?
Right. Definitely. So now we from MMA point, we would like to help you, Dr. Rani, because we can shortlist, and segregate between the boundary of Selangor and wilayah. So they rightfully inform the right person, the right GPs, so that they know, they are aware their names is already been listed.
Yeah, maybe we can cross check lah. You cross check. This is what we already get. So maybe we miss out. We don't know that one.
Yeah, correct.
We don't know whether there is the same person or not. So maybe we can send you the line listing. So maybe you can check.
Okay. If the person is already, missed out, okay, how to go about so that we can help them to put back into the list.
Then we need to put back lah. They are still the frontliner for us.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
We really appreciate that, Dr. Ruti. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
Okay, and there's Dr. Ranga Raju Goindasamy and Dr. Yu Chuan, both also asking about the side effects. Now, one, they're asking about rheumatic arthritis patient, whether vaccine can be given or not. The Dr. Yu Chuan is asking about all these particular patients have a severe allergy to all these chemical, makeup products and everything, topical consumer products and everything. So these kind of people, whether advised to take the vaccine or not.
I think ada.
I think actually any analytical conditions. I'm not sure.
Tapi tak ada.
Tak ada. For details.
That one we check again lah. This one rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis, I think they can get.
Can get.
But then assess
Because some of them are getting.
Yeah, I think the rheumatoid arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis patient, by right, they are at risk as well. There shouldn't be any issue, but they need to discuss with the rheumatologist first, because some of them are being on with DMARDs for quite some time, and as well as long-term steroids. So this is actually, we may not know how they might, whether they will get the full efficacy or response to the vaccination or not. So better for the patient to discuss with the rheumatologist first before they get the vaccine. So as for
Severe allergy, we don't know.
Severe allergy. Sorry, what was the second question again?
The second question is, okay, because this particular person, even any cosmetic topical things, to create some angioedema and all this stuff. So this kind of patient is it very need to be worried for vaccination?
They need to go. I think if there is a severe allergy, they need to go for the pre-assessment vaccination clinics lah. Because because the hospital now we are preparing for the pre-vaccination clinics to see all the patient. Even we are still need to assess the patient even in the hospital. We don't give to all the patient immediately.
Okay. There is a question from Dr. Surinder Singh. Okay, this is more like a suggestion. We say, why can't MOH request all the doctors to do their antibody test weekly from the first dose so that the Malaysian has some data of its own on the antibody productions and duration of lasting. This might be a different from other countries. I'm sure all doctors will be glad to play a role. Dr. Fazia, you got any idea on this?
A good suggestion lah.
There is a study going on, Datuk. Okay, or Dr. Bala, there's a study still going on, but it's under IMR, if I'm not mistaken, studies going on. But for the whole worldwide, to include, the big group for study, I think there's a economic concern for that. Okay, so but I know there's a study going on to see the effectiveness or efficacy for this vaccine.
So I think okay, thank you, Dr. Fazia. So
there's a question from our HGS, Dr. Arasu. He actually is there is other centers who are not actually registered with APHM or MMA, like for example, Rumah Bersalin, nursing home, blood banks, and also dialysis centers. Many doctors, nurses are attached to them. So how is JKWP reaching out for them, because they are also considered as frontliners, and they will be registering themselves as general public. So would they be considered as a frontliner and given priority?
Our CCAP also doing the registration. Registration for these centers. So the one that miss out whatsoever, they can contact our CCAP in Wilayah Persekutuan. But at the moment, our CCAP in Wilayah Persekutuan is doing all the contact with all the centers lah in Wilayah. I think we don't miss out lah unless they don't register lah with JKWP. But at the moment, we hope that all these centers that never miss out lah, because they are also considered as a frontliner. But at the same time, they need to register and also come and tell us lah which and where they are practicing.
So those staff working in these centers should register and then approach you all personally.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Dr.
okay. Let me summarize. There are a couple of doctors asking about the side effects. I think Ms. Chen. So mostly one of it, Dr. Tiong is asking about so that's 3 years is aortic valve plastic surgery, and the person is on with warfarin orally every day, whether can take the vaccine or not. There's another one, Dr. Tan asking about whether ITP patients, is it contraindicated for this vaccine? Okay. Basically all the side effects they are worried about the side effects. So I think perhaps what I can advise to all the GPs, doctors who are going to vaccinate and everything, prior to vaccinate, I think consult with their own consultant or physicians and everything, so whether this can be accepted or not be accepted. So when you are looking at this vaccine, it's a new vaccine, okay, and so far Pfizer is about close to about 200 million people in the world. They already been vaccinated. The data, I think probably the comprehensive data Ms. Tang would like to share in our Wilayah website, or so that we can understand exactly how to advise correctly to our patient, our doctors, or even we ourselves.
We take notes.
We take note, Dr. Bala, and then we will share to you all MMA, the circular by KKM, and there's some information on the guideline and as well on the information about the vaccine, and as well the what to do when there is a medical problem or comorbids, what to do and everything. So we will share with you all.
Yeah, correct. Because most of the question is all related to the adverse reactions, whether the side effect will be there to a particular medications and everything. So, like what Dr. Fajia said, that will be given a very good ideas all together in one nutshell to everyone, so whether they need to go for vaccine or not. That's make it feel much simpler. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, move on. So we have okay. So most of it. Okay, let me go down. Okay, can a person allergic to penicillin injection can take this COVID-19 vaccine? Okay, no anaphylactic reaction, only skin rashes and dizziness. Recover with hydrochloric injection as outpatient. Dr. Kadirasan say that. Doctor, so to follow up with that question, we like to ask, if that we know this a simple, I think probably Ms. Tang can advise us. We need to classify severe, moderate, simple reactions. So, see, in My Sejahtera, they have upload whatever the reaction that's happened to them. How fast My Sejahtera, is anyone there from other sides just looking at all this? The persons are feeding in all this information, and they will be jump start. These particular persons need to be require quick hospitalizations or some fast attention. So what mechanism that's been practiced at this moment? Can you, share some ideas on that? Probably, I don't know, anyone from the panelists.
Okay, to answer Dr. Bala's question, so first of all, we have to remember that any reactions that is listed in My Sejahtera app are considered the mild forms. So if the vaccinees experience any reactions in their own judgment, they feel that it's gonna affect their daily activities, or it's more than 2 days, that's worsening, or they feel that it's memang severe allergy reactions, they should go get treatment at the nearest facility soon as possible, and not just report via My Sejahtera app for assessment or treatment.
So, Ms. Tang, see, that's why we say, because if it's the persons receiving the vaccine is a doctor, he understands, okay? But we are talking about laymen, so the educations, now how are you going to, and how much we going to teach the general population? Okay,
so far for general population, what we do is that at every counter, vaccination counter, there would be education counter as well, whereby at the end of the vaccination, when vaccinator was given the vaccination card, they will be counseled and educate on what are the possible mild reactions they should expect, that they can handle themselves, and also what they should do if they experience that is that's moderate or severe. They should go to the nearest facility for treatment.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Tan. Okay, move on. That's not a question. And dear GPs, I like to skip all the questions regards of the side effects. Because everyone is asking about side effects mostly.
They like they like the sidekick.
They're getting worried.
Yeah. More worries. Everybody worried.
Everybody worried. Yeah, so something new.
Yeah.
Okay. Look like the question is
Anybody?
allowed to speak.
Okay. Anybody who wants to ask the question personally can raise your hands. We will unmute you and you can speak personally. Yes. Okay. Dr. Daya, you can speak up.
Unmute yourself, Dr. Daya. No.
Dr. Daya, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
I think it's wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Sharanjit, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Dr. Sarangi.
Unmute. Dr. Sharanjit, you need to unmute.
Okay.
Move on. Yes, Dr. Taswan, yes.
Dr. Taswan. Okay, doctor. Dr. Taswan.
Good afternoon. So all the speakers from MMA and this MMA is very enlightening to have this welcome briefing today. Hello.
Okay.
Yes. Now it's better.
Okay.
While I think Dr. Fazia presenting the side effect on what IAIA, something like that about the COVID vaccine, I came across from Newswave. There's one vaccine that reported in Sungai Petani. Can MH elaborate on that, please? Thank you.
Yeah. We still don't know what's happening there. It's still under investigation. I think maybe we'll get the feedback afterwards with the KKM, whether what is the cause of death and everything. So at the moment, I don't want to comment anything about that. I think we can read the news first. I think the news go faster than what we know lah at the moment. So but we're still waiting for the details lah, whether what happens in Sungai Petani. So I cannot answer to Dr. Tosman question at the moment. We also would like to know lah, because some of us ada yang pun takut juga dengar tu kan. We will wait for the details lah. We wait for the detail.
Okay, Dr. Alex.
Hello.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon to all panelists. Hello.
Yes, we
Yes,
can hear
yes.
you.
Okay, I quit government and currently I work as a freelance. Meanwhile, I preparing to open a new clinic. Then my name is not registered to any clinic right now. It seems that I am left over. They don't know that I'm a doctor and um I'm I cannot get the vaccination as soon as possible. How to get the vaccine as soon as possible?
I think you need to first of all, I think you need to register with My Sejahtera. Secondly, if previously you were staying in Wilayah Persekutuan or in somewhere else in Selangor.
Selangor.
I think if you stay in Selangor, I think if you open up a clinic in Selangor, then you register in Selangor.
Yeah, currently I'm renovating my clinic. Is going prepared to open the clinic in I think 3 months later lah. So but my name is being they don't know that I'm a doctor because I'm not registered to any clinic right now. Yeah.
Then you register with MMA. That's why I said we will try to check that one with MMA.
Any link for me to register?
Okay.
Okay, the staff, the MMA staff will send a link. Are you in any of the WhatsApp groups, Dr. Alex?
I participated in previous swap organized by MMA. So I in the WhatsApp group.
Yeah. Okay, Dr. Alex, we would like to help you because we will send you the link. Okay, you can register from that link. That's an MMA link, right? And thank you so much to Dr. Rosie because Dr. Roni is going to share the whole entire the listing, and we're going to work closely with the Wilayah. And we'll see if your name is been missed. We will try to put it back into the list. So that's the best we can do at this moment.
Okay, sir, please kindly help me and provide me the link. I currently in the group F swap group. Previously, I attended the seminar organized by MMA. Group F.
Okay, noted. Okay, next move on. Dr. Wu Ching-fong. Dr. Wu Ching-fong.
Dr. Wu, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Yes.
I did not post any question.
Yes, we can hear you.
I know, but I did not post any question to you.
No, you raised your hand.
Because you raised your hand there. Okay, all right. That's good.
Dr. Daya again.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Krishnan, our MMA Wilayah member, can unmute yourself.
Yes, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
The reason I'm speaking today is there are many doctors willing to help out in this vaccination procedure. I'm wondering why the KKM is not employing these doctors to come forward to help out so that the vaccination can take a fast pace. Is there a shortage of vaccine, or is it what is it making the KKM stop not using this time, making the facilities available?
Thank you for the question, Doctor. I think I understand what you mean. We are not saying that we don't want to. We want everybody to help us. It's not a one-man show. It's a team effort. But At the moment, we are still waiting for the CITF, I mean the MOSTI and KKM, to rule out how they're going to do all these vaccination programs for the phase 2 and 3. I think the most important is that how the phase 3 going to be ruled out. We also waiting for the programs, how we going to engage with all the GPs and also the private hospital. We are not going to, for sure we try to involve all of you to be together with us to do the vaccination program. But at the moment, we still, when we have all the data, then we will inform MMA about it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
On another note, Dr. Ronnie, is there any talks, any kabar-kabar angin pasal commercialization of the vaccine? Are you aware of anything?
Oh yeah, I'm not. I hear so many things in the BFM lah. Everybody is talking in the radios and everything through the WhatsApp. But personally, there's nothing that come through us in JKWP. So I'm not sure where the stand of government in doing this private initiative. I'm not sure how going to rule out. I think I cannot answer that thing also at the moment.
Understand. Thank you.
We will try. I will inform MMA will be the first things lah if they think it's going to.
Okay, noted. Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. That's a question from the chat box from Dr. Yu Funchun. Okay. Where do we refer patients to should they develop a severe reaction to the vaccine with the angioedema, whatever respiratory difficulty, despite emergency resuscitation? Whether the patient can go to private hospitals or government hospitals, okay, or is it a special provision something given in any of the government hospitals so that the patient went to emergency itself and they say, hey, this is a vaccine related emergency, even a first hand treatment. So, I mean, that is questions have been put up.
Yeah, at the moment, Kementerian Kesihatan is already alert all the hospital. I mean, KKM hospital with regards to anaphylaxis reaction towards vaccine. So if there is any, I think anaphylaxis resulting from vaccine, I think you can refer directly to hospital because we are all ready for that. We are all ready for that. Yeah.
So, in nutshell, that you are taking is better to be referred to government hospital compared to private.
Yeah. At the moment, the private, the nearest hospital in emergency care.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as I understand, all the costs will be borne by the government, right?
Oh, I mean, what? I mean, patient come to government hospital mostly in emergency is free. Private, I'm not very sure lah. Private, I'm not sure because we don't engage with regards to anaphylaxis issues yet. But maybe I will bring out this matter to KKM. Good, it's a good point for us to bring this matter up to KKM and let them talk directly to the APHM with regards to these things. Yeah.
Okay. One doctor, Dr. Baljit Singh, says kind of a funny question, but then that kind of be relevant also. Is it in future the vaccine will be really, linked to our APC application?
No plan. No plan. At the moment, there's no plan yet. No, I don't think so. I think it's a voluntary things. Huh?
Yeah, correct.
Still, yeah.
Okay. From the floor, any other doctors like to ask any question?
I think I just saw a doctor who asked actually quite a relevant question. Right now, we are actually getting information from all kinds of sources, many WhatsApp groups, Facebook, and all kinds of all these platforms. But any place that KKM would suggest that we get the proper, correct information, any web link, anything that we can actually tell our patients, also go to this website, you will get all the information in one platform. Everything is there. Anything like that that we can share with our patients as well.
Okay, there is a link where it is KKM at COVID vaccine.com. .com.my. Yeah. .gov.my. COVID vaccine.
Vaccine COVID.gov.my. Okay, the website address is www.vaccinecovid.gov.my. BM, Vaccine COVID in BM. Okay, you may also refer to KKM website or My Sejahtera. There's on the info part. My Sejahtera.
Dr. Fazia, sorry, www.vaccine, VAKSIN, right? In Malay, right?
SIN, COVID, COVID.gov.my. Mana ni nak check? Ni.
Okay.
I think Dr. Fauzia is typing the site.
That will be good. That will be good, actually. Yes. Thank you.
I need to ask this question because 3 times our doctors, Simanandan, Arunasalam, have posted the questions. No, of course, this again regards of side effects. So you say, my question is, the person with a dermatitis or any skin allergic, is it safe to take a vaccine? I think probably it's very personal to him. So.
Okay, before getting any vaccination, not necessarily COVID-19, any vaccine, okay, for the vaccination, for the comorbids, they need to consult with the clinician, who manage their cases.
Dr. Fauzia, in this web link that you just shared, is there any brochures or something like that where we as GPs can download like a poster or something like that regarding the vaccine?
Yeah, Ministry of Health Malaysia, Ministry of Health Malaysia, Health Informatic, Ministry of Health Malaysia. Health Informatic, info kesihatan. Oh, you just you can go to the Ministry of Health Malaysia website.
Okay.
There's a type of health COVID-19.
Okay.
So,
Dr. Bamini raised the question.
Dr. Bamini?
Yes, Dr. Bamini, you can.
Hello, good afternoon. Dr. Bamini here. My question for the panel is there are some companies, research companies, going to big companies asking them to sign up for trial vaccines. So these one or two companies have asked me, what are your feedbacks? Do they encourage them to go in for the trial vaccines? Because they say that the younger age group between 20 to 30 will not get vaccinated till end of next year. So they are asking us OHD doctors for advice. How do we go about advising them? Thank you.
The company, do the company registered with the CRC or whatever? Yeah.
Hi, doctor. As far as I know, I'm not aware. I mean, we are not aware of pharmaceutical companies directly dealing with the public to get them into trials. What we know that is that through certain hospitals, clinical research center, which is CRC, there is an official announcement by them via the CRC hospital to actually recruit public into their trials. So only via that official announcement that did that advertisement, that one we are aware of. So other than that, we do not encourage.
Okay, that means if it's under ICR, Questra, those are all not encouraged.
Not that we know of, because the only we are aware of is via the clinical research center based in the hospitals.
Okay, hospital based. Okay, thank you very much for that information. Thank you.
So, Dr. Roni, so in summary, can I say that to my fellow Wilayah GPs, that's whoever missed the first go, I mean the first phase of a vaccination, okay, they can anticipate it, their names will be listed for the second phase, and most probably the second phase supposed to be concluded by end of April, correct? So by end of the April, most of our GPs in Wilayah will be inoculated, that means vaccinated. And I think that as a point.
Boleh tengok.
All depends on the supply, vaccine supply. Hopefully, if we get, then most probably we will increase the quota for the GPs to be vaccinated.
See, I'm really humbly requesting that, Doc, because at this point, you say that's already 252 GPs are being vaccinated in Wilayah, and for that, thank you very much. But however, when you're looking at the overall numbers, it's only 25% of the entire GPs. And our GPs are ranged from 80 years old to as young as 28 years old. So, okay, and so of course, this kind of fear, worrisome and everything is there, and they are still looking at these patients. Patients start walking in, some of them doing screening. So I really humbly requesting for Wilayah to please put GPs, although everyone has frontliners, but GPs is frontliners. So give them the first go, because they are 24/7 exposed direct to the risk. Thank you, Dr. Rosie. Roni and Fauzi, mixed up together.
Okay. we try to accommodate what the suggestion. The best we will do, we try to put all the GPs in within this particular time with the number of vaccine that we get. We try we definitely we will try to assist everybody, especially our doctors.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roni. Thank you.
Thank you. So, okay, finally, any other question, burning question from GPs wanted to ask? So this is an opportunity. So you please ask. Of course, some of the answers you can't. Some of the questions you can't get the answers. Anything related in policy, because the policy is keep changing. Okay, that we need to embrace. what is happening around in Central. However, in Malaya, I really thanks to our Dato' Farah, our pengarah, Dr. Roni, and I must mention these two people, Dr. Roshpin from the public health infectious side, and our CCAP aide, Dr. Mimi, all of them from the day one, from the pandemics, they are trying to encourage, try to rope in GPs so that they are never left out. Okay, so thank you for that. And this is our opportunity for all our GPs. No, you all have any questions, please ask now, okay, before we conclude this section. Okay, let's
two participants raise hand.
two participants.
Dr. Bhamini, you can ask your question again.
Sorry, I asked my question earlier already.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Surendra, I saw. Okay, that's one last question, sir. Then, so the speed of a vaccination is all depends on the available of the vaccine. Or, I mean, how's that equation is coming in? If you say so, vaccines is already there, the stocks is enough. Whether we still at this moment, Wilayah using 4 days a week to do vaccination. That's on Monday to Thursday. Friday is a day for collecting the data. So when that's enough vaccine, so can we speed up the vaccine process by opening up 7 days, 24/7 to do that? How is it? What is the mechanism being planned, Dr. Rosie?
Okay, for the beginning, because of the vaccine availability, we operationalized for 5 days actually, Monday to Thursday, and Friday is a backup or wrap up for the vaccine. Because once the vaccine is come out from the ULTF, ultra low temperature fridge, it needs to be stored in the top loading. For the top loading storage, it takes the expiry days will be 5 days only. So we have to use it within the 5 days. That's why we plan for 4 days, and then Friday is a backup. So once we got it more supply of the vaccine, then we will open 7 days, including public holidays and weekends.
Okay, since I think everybody is okay, 2 participants raised hand.
Okay, last
one.
Suresh Mehra. Okay, question come from the
Yes.
Suresh Mehra.
Those who have taken the flu vaccine within a week from the due date of their first or second COVID vaccine, who do they contact to postpone their vaccine, the COVID vaccine date?
Okay.
Dia nak postpone. Dia postpone, dia nak postpone.
Sorry, what is the question?
Those who have taken the flu vaccine within a week from the due date of the first or second COVID vaccine, say like they have taken the vaccine, the flu vaccine today, and they were given a date for the either the first or the second COVID vaccine within within 2 weeks. So if they want to postpone, in short, if they want to postpone the COVID vaccine date, who should they contact?
So either can call the klinik kesihatan or the place, the vaccination center, to inform them, or by using the My Sejahtera can click for not accepting the appointment day.
Okay, Dr. Fazia, this is probably my last question to you. Okay, this is regards of patients of whoever the persons now candidates for vaccine. been already prior to expose this infection. That means it's already been infected earlier. Okay, how long duration you need to wait after that the infection? That means it's a COVID positive cases. Okay. And second question related to that, is it necessary for persons to go for vaccine need to do some sort of a test to then themselves whether you have an antibody or whether you are what your stage of baseline. At this point, we also don't know whether we are silent carrier, infected, whether that kind of people can be just vaccinated. So can you kindly what is the standing orders are there in practice?
Okay, for the first question, need to wait for 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
To get vaccination. For the second question, so far we don't have that policy yet to say whether they need to go for the antibody testing or not. So if they wish, because it's a voluntary basis, so if they feel that they still want to get the vaccination, then after 3 to 6 months they can come and for vaccination.
Okay.
And
There's a question here. I received my first dose. My Sejahtera showed an appointment for the second dose. Date given but no time. How do we know what time to come in? Do we follow the same time as the first dose that was given?
Same time as given for the first dose. Same time, same place, except for the date.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Since everything is done and time's up, I'd like to thank, first of all, Dr. Paramjit, who is actually supposed to be here, but unfortunately could not make it due to another meeting. The other, like Dr. Bala mentioned, Dr. Roswinda, Dr. Mimi, who were very helpful to us, very supportive. In fact, we even had a meeting with them about 2-3 weeks ago. They're very supportive of MMA. And without them, actually, we would have been at a loss for a long time. Dr. Roni, Dr. Fauzia, Dr. Nazaria, and Puan Peng, who attended our webinar today. Thank you very much. I think most of the GPs would have got their questions all answered. And I really look forward to be working together with CCAPS, JKWP, KL, Putrajaya, about with regards to the line listing and trying to sort things out and make things as smooth as possible to ensure most GPs get our vaccines as soon as possible, preferably by the end of April. Hopefully everything goes on well. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe, get vaccinated. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bala and Dr. Rita.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rani.
Thank you.
Thank you.